Hello and welcome back to the channel with me, the Orienteering Kid, where today we'll be in Milan, completing the training for the upcoming TOREMooS Cup. So yes, as I just mentioned, we will be completing today the training for the Tempo Online REM Maps MOOS series, or TOREMooS for short. I'm actually really intrigued about these events because the guy who ran it last time, Remo Madella, made some absolutely amazing stations last time and some really wacky and interesting ones. So I'm really intrigued to see what he's done this time. This event can be found in the free training courses section on the Tempo simulator. There'll be a link to this in the description. This website is free to sign up with and you get access to all the tourist events and everything else that's going on, either now or in the past. So yeah, so we're going under the free training courses section and we can see here at the very top we've got TOREMooS test. So here's just a little bit of the course. The maps are going to be 1 to 4,000. There'll be 2 stations with a 30-second penalty, and that is the most common type of penalty in these situations. Zero tolerance will be 4 meters and will be in a suburban area. The final interesting bit that we've got to take on today is the tramway tracks, which will be on the map, are described in control descriptions as power lines. So just a little explanation for those guys who've never done this type of event before. You'll have a photo and there'll be 6 orienteering kites and they will be A to F, left to right. There'll then be a map appear and there'll be a circle on that map indicating a location in the terrain that you can see. The aim of the game is to identify which of the 6 controls matches the location in the map, and if you think it's none of them, it's a 0. But for 0 to be correct, it must be at least 4 meters here from any control. My aim is to try and explain what I'm doing as I go through. Any answers that I put will appear in the top right hand corner of the whole screen, and yeah, I'll probably do a more detailed explanation at the end because I'll be focusing on completing the tasks. Right, so we are going to load and we are going to start slowly. Just gives me a bit more time to look at the photos like in the proper competition. So if we're ready, here is station 1. So we've got the 2 power lines there on the back of the wall. Inside paved area 0. End of fence alpha. Delta. On the building corner there must be Charlie, and then out the back is 0. So yeah, first impressions of that station. It was quite a nice little station. It's kind of interesting to do the double layer on that little bit of wall, but we'll see how I did there. I'm not completely confident about all of those, but we move on and we go to station 2. So there's a load of trees in the back there and the open land. We need between those 2 trees and then the back 2 trees there, and then at the southern end of that bush followed by the other tree and then the other bit of paved area. So it does look like I got all of them right there, although I possibly could have been a bit quicker. Let's have a look in a bit more detail. So the first one, as we come up, we've obviously got these paved area, the tram lines mapped as power lines. I think that's quite clear, to be honest. I don't know what else you'd map them with. I think it's good. Northeastern corner of the paved area, and obviously north downwards, so it's going to be the complete opposite, and it's up there. But we can see here this bit of wall looking around the corner, so it's going to be on top of the wall behind the back there, and so none of them are there, so that one's a 0. Coming across to the side, we have this bit of fence, small bit of fence that we look at, and it's just on the end of that fence, so again, just there as alpha. We then jump to the back where we are going between a set of trees, which is here, and the paved area right out the back there. To be honest, I think it's quite hard to tell the paved area back there, but from looking at it very quickly, the control does look in the right place, so I think that's about fair. Bringing it into number 14, the corner of the building, it's quite obvious there that the building is that bit here on the map, so it's that corner, and it's well, the northeast corner, so it's Charlie. And then finally we come right out the back, it's to the left hand side of this fence, so it must be all the way around the corner, so it's another 0. So yeah, overall I think it's a good station. I did think possibly the query with 13 about being slightly unclear, but I don't think that's really hindered the course at all. I think that is still a good problem in itself. And then we move on to station 2, which I thought was again a really good station. You get the line of trees coming in on this bit of area to try and make you tree count, and I think that's good, but I also think possibly missed the idea of putting a 0 on one of the gaps to try and confuse people, because obviously with these first two, Charlie, it's the middle of those two trees. Potentially you might have wanted to put a, I think it's northeastern one, because there's multiple between trees in the circle, so a northeast in the control descriptions might have been useful to help some people distinguish, but there we go, that's Charlie. And then we come across again to Foxtrot, and again I think maybe a western arrow to try and properly show that it is the western one of these that the circle is going for, but again Foxtrot. We come across to the end of the bush, yeah, it's Alpha, it's the south end of the bush. I think again that's quite clear. This one was quite a tricky one, but I also quite like it because this tree is obscuring the tree behind it, which is the tree we want. But obviously if you're going very quickly you'd go for the delta kite because it's on a tree and you can't really see any tree to the left of it. But yeah, I like that as a problem. I think that's really good. This final task though, I would have done something slightly different here, because as much as this paved area is mapped and it is obvious that that's a paved area, what is this control on? So this control is obviously on this grid. I'm presuming it's a water drainage grid or a power grid, but it's on the corner of something that isn't on the map. So I know it's fairly obvious that it's on this corner here. However, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't have put a control on something that isn't on the map, because I want, as a competitor, to be able to identify the exact locations of each control at a specific feature. Again though, I think the location it was going for is clear. Lining it up with the location of the Alpha kite must come down, so it must be on this corner instead. So yeah, I thought it was a good, nice bit of training. I'm really looking forward to these next 10 days. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you wouldn't mind just hitting the like button, subscribing, commenting if you have any more comments on anything I've said in this video, how to improve, just whatever you thought of today's training. And I will see you tomorrow for day 1 of the TOREMooS Cup.